Okay, so we are in June and I'm still knitting a winter sweater. So hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my very small YouTube channel where I talk about my knitting life and my knitting adventures. My name is Isabelle. I am in France, I am in Normandy, and we are on June 5th. Tomorrow is going to be a big day where everyone is going to be celebrating the 80th anniversary of the end of the World War II. I will be working from home tomorrow because it's gonna be impossible just to drive around. So many people are staying home to work, and people who need to be driving around for their own work, it's going to be a bit complicated for them. So let's have a bit of a thought for them. Today it's going to be a video about my regular knitting adventures. The same type of video you can find anywhere else on the internet, where I'm going to be talking about one finished object, two works in progress, and maybe a little bit of a life update, or maybe not, because it's quite late tonight. I'm coming back from work and I'm not sure how much time I have to record and if I will have enough time to edit tonight before the big day tomorrow. And if that is of some interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, so first, what am I wearing? I am wearing the Leaf Top, I think it's the Leaf Top t-shirt by Bernat Design Studio. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will link everything down below as usual. I knit this t-shirt in 5-6 days in August 2021 when I was on vacation, I guess. And I knitted with some recycled cotton by We Are Knitters, on 5.5 millimeter needles. And I used 3.5 skeins or balls for this little top. So this is a cotton top. I would say it's a short sleeves, so I would say it's rather a summery top, but the cotton is quite dense. So it's a summery top that when the weather is not really hot. And this is the first time this year I'm wearing a t-shirt because we have had horrible weather thus far, cold, rainy, gray, etc. And as I said, tomorrow it's going to be the big 80th celebration, D-Day celebration. And fortunately, they are forecasting some sun and nicer weather. So it's not very warm. There is still quite a cold wind, but we have a lot of sun. We've had a lot of sun. So I'm wearing it with linen pants from Non-Perfect Linen. I'm sure maybe the microphone is going to be picking it up. There are many planes around here because I'm between Caen and the seaside, so it's right in the middle where all the celebrations are going to be happening and people are going to be driving and etc. So it's going to be a big mess. So if you hear airplanes, that's why. So what was I saying? Yeah, we're going to be having a nicer weather. I like this little top. It's not quite see-through, even though you can see some skin, but you see here I have my my bra and my underwear, and you don't see it much. And that's what I was saying. I'm wearing it with Non-Perfect linen pants, wide ones. So it's just the perfect outfit for today's weather. Okay, first finished object, and you haven't seen it yet because I was procrastinating onto my Yara. I was afraid to pick up the stitches. Last time I think I had picked up the stitches on the long border, the 350 something stitches. And after I had started to knit the pattern, I was very afraid to move to the main border pattern because it looked very complicated to me. So I was procrastinating. That means I was knitting on other things. So I made a beret, and this beret is for my youngest son. It's based on the Bis beret pattern by Sari Nordland. So it's the same pattern I made for myself, but at the bigger gauge. So it is knit with Fonti Kidopal. I made a hat for him a couple Christmas ago. A hat from Stephen West. That was one of the Stephen West patterns. So Ambiance from by Fonti is 100% wool, and which is 120 meters for 50 grams, so that's 240 meters for 100 grams. So it's a decay type of yarn, and Kidopal, which is their lace mohair. And I made this beret in 5 to 19 in May, 15 to 19 in May, so I made it in 4 days. I was for sure procrastinating on some easy pattern. I had already made one for myself, so I knew the pattern, even though I was following the pattern. So you start by the top. I love the increases here, the way they look like a starfish and they are a bit curved. I really like that. And as I was not really sure, my ends are weaved in, but I did not cut them or after washing the beret. As I was not really sure I would have enough to finish the beret, I pulled out some kind of a purple one. It's woolen polyamide or something like that. That's from my mother's stash, and on the camera I'm seeing that I have forgotten to be duplicate stitching some stitches here that are not very regular. I will see that. Was it when I was changing the colors? Maybe it was at some point when I was changing the colors, not all the time. And this little beret I like a lot too. I will make some more. I will wait for now to make more berets because it's the summertime, and this is the way I wear it, with the back, the fold in the back. I'm not sure if he wants to wear it with the fold on the side or with the fold in the front. He will do whatever he likes. It's a bit big for me because he has a bigger head than myself, and it's quite warm. I will take it out. And so I dried it out on a plate, a bigger plate, so that you have a nice fold here at the tip of at the end of the beret. So he's seen the pictures. I'm just waiting for him to come and pick up his socks, the orange ones, and his beret now. And he was very happy I made that. He asked for it, and I made it in a few days after that. And he said, well, you don't have to do it right now. I'm not on a rush. I said, yeah, but I'm knitting on something that is kind of filling my head right now, and I'm afraid to be casting on all of these stitches and then to knit all of these difficult patterns. So I made that one for you, and it's all ready for you to come and pick it up whenever you want. Okay, next, a new cast on that you haven't seen, and same thing. I was procrastinating because I did not want to pick up all of these stitches on the Yara, so I casted on the Gallant sweater with Val, which is the very beautiful Nutiden yarn that one of you brought me when you visited. And Val with Mohair 21 by Lang, which is 58% mohair and 42% silk. And as you told me when you gave it to me, it's the better mohair, and it's extremely soft, extremely shiny, in this absolutely beautiful color that fits the val Nutiden so well. So there is a little marl because the mohair is just a tad lighter than the val. I really love the effect. I really love the effect. And I've separated for the sleeve. This is one plate of Nutiden. And you see I have started a second ball on the mohair, a second ball of the mohair. So I will have plenty because you gave me 3 plates of Nutiden and 4 balls of the mohair. I made a little modification. So Gallant is by Kadri. I guess I forgot to say that. And I was a bit afraid this would roll up too much. So Kadri asks for 1 row of 1 by 1 ribbing or 2 by 1 by 1 ribbing. I made a bit more rows and I casted on just a few stitches less, maybe 4 or 6 or 8, I don't recall exactly, stitches less than what it was called for, and I am making the size L, which is most probably the one I should be making for myself, or just a little bit smaller. And my gauge, my gauge is a bit smaller. That means my yarn is a bit bigger than what she had used. So it's the mohair Gallant. It's not the regular Gallant that is for Erin or something like that. So this is the L size, and so I casted on a little bit less stitches than what she recommends. And after the cast on and the ribbing, I added the stitches to be on par with whatever the size I'm making. So it's a regular raglan increase, regular raglan increases with a bit of a faster increase under the arm for the body only, so that I guess you can have a better curve under the arms, and then the rest of the body, and this is where I'm at. I've tried it on, it fits me. And when I tried it on, I said, okay, if I finish it soon enough, I will be able to wear it, because before the weather gets too warm. So I guess it's gonna be too warm for now, and I won't be able to wear it, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's very soft. I love the color. The color is just completely incredible. And it's not knitting very quickly, because I think I'm using 3 point something. I'm using 4mm needles, so it's not small needles, but it takes quite a long time to knit. And I like very much the simplicity of this sweater. The bottom of the sweater and the bottom of the sleeves are just I-cords. And last Saturday, I went for a day in Atelier Paulin for a day, a knitting day that she carries several, maybe 2 or 3 times per month. And as it's quite far away, I'm not going all the time, and we had the heater on in the house because she's in a very old farm and it was very cold. And I was thinking, I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it. But now the weather, a few days later, the weather is getting a bit warmer. And when I was there, one lady had knit the Gallant with yak, and the sleeves and the bottom of the sweater were rolling a lot, and blocking did not prevent it. And I like when it rolls, but not too much. So we'll see what I'll do at the tip of the bottom of the sweater and at the tip of the sleeves, because I'm not sure I would like it rolls too much. You see here, with the 1 by 1 ribbing, there is not much ribbing, and in the back and in the front it rolls on itself. But when I wear it, it's kind of sticking out. So we'll see how it goes. And yes, my gallant sweater that I am so happy I have cast it on. I am so happy that Yara was giving me some misery, and I decided to start knitting on it. Okay, the big elephant in the room, Yara, and it's a big one. It's a big one. So I finally stopped procrastinating, and I finally decided I was going to go and knit the border. So first I picked up, I think I had picked up all of the stitches last time I talked about it. And I made the little border, the little pops. I'm not sure how I recall how she calls them. So I made the little pops here. Knit that part, which is a pattern I already knew, as I had already knit on the bottom part or top part of the shawl. Knit some kind of mosaic simple pattern, and it waited for a few days, maybe over a week even, before I dared going on to the main border pattern. So two things. The pattern repeat is on, I don't recall, 20 stitches or something like that. I placed stitch markers at every repeat so that I know where I am at all time. Second thing, I was very afraid I would not be able to see the border pattern, the main pattern, in with my yarn choices. And I'm completely reassured now because you can see these border very well. So if I take Yara on right side up, the first part you knit it from one end to the other, you knit it sideways, and then you can pick up stitches, the 300 and something stitches on the border, and you continue knitting the main bottom border with the mosaic pattern. Now that I have been knitting on that pattern quite a bit, maybe a third or fourth in, maybe more, I don't recall, maybe a third in. I think there are 3 of them here or something like that. Now that I've knit a bit, I can say it's not difficult. I was more afraid of the idea of knitting this mosaic pattern that looks difficult on a large number of stitches, but having placed stitch markers on either side of every repeat, and you get into a rhythm. Each row is different, of course. When you knit back with one color, you just knit the colors as they come and you slip the other color. It is not difficult. You get into a rhythm. This is long enough so that in the 4th repeat you know what you have, or I know what I have to be knitting, and I just count or be careful at what the stitches from the previous row are, and where I need to slip and where I need to knit. And it is not difficult, and I even can knit in front of the TV or some series or something like that. So I need to be looking at what I'm knitting. I can't skip and watch TV and knit and watch TV. But it's not difficult, and you can follow other things and knitting the pattern. I was more afraid of this pattern and of the chart than how difficult it really is. And when I was at Atelier Pure Laine, I even knit on it. So many people were very interested into that pattern, and I could knit on it, and I will place a little recording, maybe on this side, a little recording of the video that Frédéric took, so that you can have an idea of how many people were there. Maybe during the day, maybe at least 15 or 20 people came by. And so we had lunch all together. You bring your own lunch, and she offers coffees and stuff like that, and everybody brings cakes, of course. And so I will show the little video where at some point you can see my Yara, and you can see that I've knit more on it than last Saturday. And I now know that I was more afraid of the idea of this pattern than what the pattern is really. It's not difficult. And if you want to knit on Yara, I do encourage you to do so. Place stitch markers on either side of every repeat, and of course have the chart before you so that you can check what you need to be doing. Other than that, it is not difficult. I now know that. Okay, so that's it for the knitting for today, and I can assure you what I've shown, it's a lot of knitting. Gallant, it took me a long time to get there, and on the Yara too, it's a lot of knitting. So I enjoy the finished objects, so I'm kind of impatient to have them finished and maybe cast something on, because I won't be able to wear Gallant right now. I guess I can wear Yara once it's finished. What I just wanted to say, aside from my visit to Atelier Pure Laine, where I did not buy any yarn, yay me, I may go this Saturday, and it will depend on how the roads are going to be with the big celebrations and stuff. If I can't, I won't. It's in the Manche area, so it's going to be, I'm not sure it's going to be on this side or this side for you. And it's the south of the Manche area. There is a Journée mondiale du tricot, worldwide knitting day in this little place that is called Genèt in the Manche area in Cotentin. So I looked, it's about an hour and 15 minutes drive, so I guess I can do that. And Laine sous les pommiers, the lady I got some yarn from recently, very, very soft Normandy yarn, is gonna be there. I saw that on her own social channels, social account, media accounts, and it's on this Saturday, 8th of June, from all the afternoon, from 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I may go there, mainly because I want to see more of her yarn, and I will contact her if I go there to see if she has more of the one that I bought, and maybe get some more, I know, and not all for myself, because this yarn is so soft, it's so surprisingly soft compared to, for example, the yarn from Laine à l'Ouest, which is very rustic. This one is rustic, of course, and extremely soft. So I want to go there, talk with her a bit longer, and maybe get some more yarn, maybe for myself, maybe for other people. So that's for this Saturday. Last Sunday, I went to another Café Tricot, which is a coffee and knitting in the theater, where the movie theater, on the Sunday afternoon, where I now go. It's 2 Sundays per month, so I may not talk about every time, because of course I'm going to be saying always the same things. The difference is that one of my friends, we've never been out of touch, but you know how life is. She lives 15 minutes away from me, and we rarely see each other now. She had a baby, or she has a young kid not long ago, so she has a busy life, much busier than me at least, and she lost her father. And so I went to support her, and she told me that she had picked up knitting. So I brought her with me, and she learned knitting with videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And of course, there are so many things that you understand better when someone tells you. And she was the way she was undoing her knitting when she had made a mistake. So I showed her how to do that because she was doing things that was way more complicated than you can do. I also showed her how to ladder down a stitch to when she had made a mistake, when she had to have a knit stitch, for example, and showed her how to reconstruct the knitting, and she was very amazed. And also I started to teach her how to read the knitting, because I told her, if you can read your knitting, you can fix many things. If you know how to think and knit the other way, unknit, and if you know how to ladder down, it won't save you of any occasion or any mistake, or every mistake. Maybe at some point you will have to unravel, but that's the beauty of knitting. If you've made a mistake or if you don't like it, just unravel it and do something else, or fix your mistakes. And I think so. That would be my recommendation. I know all of you are very seasoned knitters, and you've been knitting for a very long time. But if there are some people who are picking up knitting right now, my recommendation would be learn how to think. That means unknit the few stitches you've knit just before without dropping off all of the stitches from the needle. Learn how to ladder down to a mistake and stop the laddering and the unraveling of the one or two stitches that you are doing, and learn how to knit them back on. And third thing would be learn how to place a lifeline when there is a very maybe difficult part, or you are afraid you would have to unravel. So you can unravel up to that one line. And of course, learn how to read your knitting, because this makes knitting so much easier once you know how to read your knitting. I'm not sure why this one made a sound. I thought I had a focus of do not disturb. Anyway, that's my little summary for the week. I hope I will have enough time to edit tonight and tomorrow to post it on Friday. I hope that your knitting is bringing you much joy and happiness, and that you are able to place joy and happiness into your little stitches, because once you are focusing on placing joy and happiness into your knits, that helps you place joy and happiness into your own life. And if you can't do it for yourself, do it for other people. Knit happy stitches that you will send back in your thoughts to other people, and that will contribute to increase your joy and happiness into your own life. And I thank you very much for being here with me, and I hope I will see you next time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you visiting, Onyx? Maybe. Not on my knitting. Thank you. 5. Top. So hello everyone. Welcome or welcome back to Cinq. Top. 1 finished object, 2 work in progress.